Hello and welcome to Module 3 of EDU 200. So hopefully you have had the opportunity to be in the classroom observing instruction and have completed at least the first two observational journals at this point. So hopefully what you have seen as you've been in the classroom are examples of teaching strategies that you want to use, and it's highly possible that you've seen things that you don't want to use. And I think that's just as valuable a lesson as learning what to do. Because if you see something that you think or feel or know is wrong, then you know to stay away from that when you are in the classroom. So there's always something to be learned during these observations. So I have been trying to keep up with the placement request as you send me the forms. I know that summer is difficult, but there are school districts that are accepting placement. So if you are having trouble finding a place to complete your hours, just let me know and I'll give you some of the contact information for where you might be able to get some of your placements done. So when we get into Module 3, really what we're going to be looking at are different aspects of the classroom environment. So when you look at Module 3, you're going to see that we're going to be looking at diversity, various social problems, ethics, characteristics of ethical teaching, and we're going to be doing the second step of your teaching philosophy. So when you go into Module 3, you're going to see again, here's everything that needs to be done for Module 3. This is a 2-week module. So next week there will just be a regular written announcement on Blackboard. But remember, these are suggested due dates. As long as everything is done by the end of the module, then you're going to be fine. So there is a discussion board that we'll get into. There are readings for you, 2 more observational journals for you to complete during this module. I would like to see that you have at least gotten half of your hours done by the end of this module. But again, I know that especially with it being the end of the school year, for public schools, there's going to be a little bit of a delay. So please don't worry if you're not able to submit your 20 hours, because then it's just going to, when you do get at least 20 hours, just go ahead and submit your observation log so I can give you credit for that. And then the other thing is we're going to be looking at step 2 of your teaching philosophy. So all of the PowerPoints and online resources are in this folder. Just a reminder about your observational journals. Just make sure that you're using different topics because that really gives you such a well-rounded perspective of instruction. So just keep those list of topics handy. And again, if it's something that you observed that you really want to write about, whether or not it's because you're passionate because you loved it or you're passionate because you hated it, that's totally fine as well. But 2 more journals should be done during this module. Again, try and if you're able to get the 20 hours before the end of this module, great. But again, when you do get to 20, just go ahead and submit it in that link. And so that way I can give you credit for it. Anything that you have to submit will be over here in this assignments link. I'm trying to keep it updated as we go, so there's always that link for you. Then we're going to, let me skip down to the discussion board because this is where we're really going to be looking at ethics in the classroom. So basically what you're going to do when you click on here, you're going to find that I've already started several threads that have different case studies in them. So what I would like for you to do is to choose one of them. And you can go through and read all of them. They're very, very short, but they're just kind of some ethical situations that you may find yourself in. And so what I want you to do when you respond to it is I want you to tell me kind of your reaction to it. But then I also want you to look at the different ethical obligations that you have that are listed in this unit. You're going to look for a specific code, and so that's going to be found in your textbook. But what's really important about ethical obligations is it's important to know that there is a code of ethics that's out there that regulates how we should be behaving in all of these different situations. But I think it's important to be able to defend and document where you got it from. So don't just say, I think this was wrong or I would do this. Really kind of take the time to look at the different codes that are out there to be able to defend what your answer is. And then just make sure you respond to at least 2 of your classmates. So like I said, you only have to respond to 1, but I would encourage you to read all of the different case studies just so you kind of get a sense of some things that you may encounter. And keep up with reading your classmates' postings because that will give you a great perspective on how we should handle it. So even if you didn't choose to comment on it or to post on it, you can still see what your classmates have come up with. So the last thing you're going to be doing in this module is you're going to be taking your teaching philosophy to the next step. So I gave feedback on all of your initial drafts, and everyone did a great job. There may have been some things that you needed to add to your teaching philosophy using those prompts that were given in the first part of the assignment. But now that you've had some time in the classroom, reading over the different resources, really this should always be an evolving document. So there is a self-inventory on pages 293 and 294 in your textbook, but also using your time in the classroom, what you reflected on in your journal entries. You should be ready to make some changes to your teaching philosophy. And that doesn't mean that you disagree with what you put in the first time, but it may be that you're more passionate about it now that you've actually seen it in action. Or maybe there are some things that you want to add to it because you realize this is something that's really important to you. This teaching philosophy is a reflection of you. So if an employer were to read this philosophy, they should be able to see what you believe, what you are truly passionate about. And if that's all that they had to go by, you want it to be such a great representation of yourself that they would immediately want to call you for an interview. So really take this time to reflect and think about how you would want to add to, edit, modify your teaching philosophy. So you're not actually going to be doing any editing in your teaching philosophy, but what you're going to be doing is you're going to be adding comments in the margin. So if you were to click on the actual teaching philosophy, which is a Microsoft Word document, all you have to do when you go to insert a comment is go up to the box that says review, and then it will give you a place where you can put new comment. And so all you do is, let's say that at the end of this paragraph you wanted to say, oh, I need to go more in depth about this, or I need to explain it a little bit better, or I want to add this topic in here. You just type new comment, and then there will be a place where you can say, I want to add in what I saw during my first observation. So what I'm looking at is what kind of reflective comments have you put in your teaching philosophy that's going to make it even better than it was the first time around. So go through your teaching philosophy, making comments like that all throughout, and then save it. And that's what you're going to upload for this next set of assignments. So when you click on here, I want to see your teaching philosophy, but I'm going to be looking at all of your comments. So you're not actually making the changes into your teaching philosophy yet. That's going to be what your final draft is at the end. But this is just a chance for you to think about, what do I want to add to it? What do I want to change to make it better? So those really are the main things that are happening during Module 3. As always, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. That is what I'm here for. But I do hope that you are enjoying the course, interacting with each other, being in the classroom. Just as a heads up, Module 4 is probably going to be the heaviest of the modules just because it's going to be 3 weeks instead of 2, and you're going to be looking at lesson planning assignments, assessments. So just kind of a heads up that that's what's going to be coming in Module 4. So have a great time during Module 3. If you are in the classroom, enjoy these last few days before the end of the school year, and let me know if I can help in any way. So I will see you in Module 4.